Today, we do not have our co-host. We just have me, Wonky, the host. And we got as our guest, Duho, the GM of Oakland.
Hello, hello.
How has everything been going as you transition to Oakland this year?
It's been good, man. It's been a little crazy because I've been here officially for 3 months now. In the
Okay.
last 3 months, I had a bachelor party,
Wow.
found a new apartment, got all my new furniture. I got married, and now I'm just
Dang.
chilling. Yeah, it's
That's a
been a lot
lot.
of crazy things.
That's a lot of things off your checklist.
I know.
Yeah, so I was going to tease both you and Dustin for being 1 and 2. You guys are both 1 and 2. Um, we'll go over our lines and who we picked from last week. Although Dustin won't be here, so I can't. Again, he's missing so much. He took a good time to leave because I again trounced them 4-1. But anyways,
Mhm.
we'll start with his game where he won. Great Kills won 187.5 to 145.6 against LAC. Um, let's take a look at that matchup. Yeah, it looked like Cooper Kupp went off for 26.35, Phillip Rivers with 28.5, and the Dallas defense with 21.1 against the pretty bad Miami Dolphins. And with LIC, they had some pretty good showings from a lot of people, but just not enough to get them through. Jared Goff with 20.9, Marvin Jones with 18.9. The defense, Jacksonville defense, 19.75, but just not enough points from their back end starters. Emmanuel Sanders only putting up 2, Jared Cook only putting up 1.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
you got poop for the week, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's so weird seeing that the poop was 142.6. This must have been a high scoring week.
Yeah. I mean, I narrowly avoided that, as you can see there.
Oh yeah.
Only off by like a couple of points. Um, Dude, I don't know. Like Warren's team, I thought it was gonna be pretty good coming into the year, and then he's just been racked by injuries, and then AB getting all crazy and shit on him. Like
Right.
I don't know. It's weird to see Warren had this kind of luck because he's never had it.
True. True. And it's crazy how his reactions have been too, right? How he's been picking off the back end of people's rosters, and it's just such a weird thing. You never see that from Warren. But
I know.
it's triggered by his 0-3 start. It's triggered by all the bad luck that he's been having with the star players. And honestly, I don't know what else he could do, right? Like, there's not much. Maybe he goes fishing on the waiver wire, but honestly, at this point, that could be the route back into things. But again, you can't count him out. Even with the 0-3 start, you can't count him out. He's familiar with these kind of slow starts. So, it's still early for him.
Yeah. I mean, I think my record was like 1-11 before I actually faced him this year,
Right.
and then obviously got my win last week, and then obviously Dustin got his his win as well.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just glad that I'm not going to be facing his team again this year.
Yeah, so one of the themes that I wanted to think about this year as we go into week 4 is are the records reflective of the actual team's talent? So with LIC, do you think his team is actually an 0-3 team?
I mean, based on the talent that I've seen in a lot of other teams, it's pretty competitive this year.
Yep,
Um,
agreed.
I would definitely stack them up at like a 1-2 versus an 0-3.
Right.
There's still some good players on his squad. Like I really like the Marvin Jones acquisition.
Right.
His running backs are still, I think, both top tier, and obviously Edelman's been lucked into a very good situation with Antonio Brown going out. So he's got a lot of good things working for him, man.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen because his division is, I think, very, very strong this year. So we'll
True.
see how all that pans out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think his team is better than 0-3, but it's not 3-0, for example. But again, as you were saying, that it's the league. The league. There's a lot of teams that are close, and so you just wins here and there. It's going to be the difference, I think, this year. Let's move to Great Kills. So they are 1-2. Do you think that they are that record is reflective of the talent on the roster right now?
Let's see. Can you scroll down a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
I want to see his bench.
Oh, the bench doesn't show up with the bench doesn't
Oh.
show up with the
So
scoring
you'd have to
here.
like go into his roster and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. I can do it there.
Um,
Let's take a look.
yeah.
Yeah, his bench looks pretty good. I mean, he's got Gardner Minshew, James White, John Ross now.
Hmm.
He's some interesting wide receiver talent, James Washington, D.D. Westbrook. And these bench players are going to be important as we enter the bye weeks. Um, I think there is definitely a lot of talent, and I really love the fact that he's got Zeke, he's got Evan Ingram, um, Philip Rivers still doing really well. It's the concern, and Cooper Cup is amazing too. The concerns for me is Todd Gurley, Devonta Freeman. If they really can show up, then this team is better than 1 and 2. This team is in the 2-1 category. It should be. I feel like maybe. I feel like they could be in the top half of the league if those two started performing.
Yeah. I mean, coming into the season, I thought his team was really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he got a steal for Philip Rivers at $17.
Right.
Obviously, people underrated Cooper Cup coming off of that ACL surgery.
Yeah.
When I saw his running backs coming into the year, and
Right.
the fact that he literally backed up all of them with their immediate handcuffs, I'm like, dude, like Dustin's set for the year. He's got really good players on great offenses. The only one that he didn't have was what's his face, the guy that I just dropped, Darrell Henderson. But
Oh yeah.
everyone else, like he's been set up very well. I really like Justice Hill as a player as well. Obviously, super talented, really good opportunities, as I'm sure you know, having Lamar Jackson come near that offense.
Yep.
And then you look at his receivers, man. Like, there's a lot of upside players out there. Like John Ross has been performing. D. Westbrook kind of shit the bed last week with his inability to catch things, but like I really like his squad too. I think this, like, he should technically be 2-1 or 3-0 in my opinion. But obviously he's had some shitty luck starting the season.
Yeah, I think the slow start, it's gonna turn into something else pretty soon, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe this is gonna be the springboard for him to leap up into the top half of the league. So I'll just skip over the fact that I picked LIC, which was wrong. But in any case, the next game we'll look at is Capital Region. God, who did they face? They face Yonkers. Okay, yeah, Capital Region. Dustin took them to win, and that's what the result was. Capital Region taking it home. They scored 201.36 against Yonkers 191.02.
Damn, that line was perfect, dude.
It was very close, very close. I know. I wish. Man. So I did. So yeah. So actually, I got him right. Yeah, I got him because of the Capital Region failing to cover. Pat Mahomes, Mike Evans, jeez, Alvin Kamara, Dak Prescott, they popped off. I mean, those guys pretty much 30-point outputs. Essentially, that was pretty much the story for Capital Region. And then Yonkers, they didn't do that poorly either, with Daniel Jones putting up 41.45 fantasy points. And Tom Brady, 28.3, T.Y. Hilton with 15, and LaShawn McCoy with 22. Can't forget him. So, yeah, this was a really close matchup. It's just not reflected here, the home field advantage, but it ended up pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, Ken's team, what more can you say, right? Like,
Yeah.
You look at those names and like even the underperformers, like it's kind of insane to see that kind of team put together. And I'd honestly be shocked if he didn't win all of it this year.
Right.
And he's got your boy Dak Prescott, man. How do you feel
Dak.
about that?
I am jealous. Yeah, Dak is leveling up, or it seems like it at least, right? He is putting up pretty good stats in fantasy. I always thought that he was good, but I didn't think he was this good, right? He didn't. This 28 points that he put up this week is the lowest fantasy point total that he had in the year. So, yeah, it looks like he's in the realm of the top 5, right? Top 5 fantasy QBs. So, it's amazing. What's really scary about Ken's team is DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans. It looks like they can just trade off the good days and they'll just do really fine.
Yeah, dude.
It's pretty crazy. Capital Region, they're 2-1. Do you think that they should be 2-1?
Why did they lose again? Was it because of Diaz having that 60-point
Yes,
defense?
yes.
Oh, yeah. No, they should definitely be. They
3
should
0.
definitely be 3-0.
Yeah, short answer there. I think that's the definition of fluke. I think there's not much to be said here, right? Like we can always go over Pat Mahomes, Alvin Kamara. They're just great. There's just so much great top end talent on this team. It's unbelievable. With Yonkers, a little unlucky. A lot of injuries. Saquon got hurt. Ty got hurt. They've already been dealing with injuries. No Drew Brees. No Tyreek. So yeah, they're really limping to start the season.
Yeah, they've had a lot of terrible luck here. It's weird because like even with all that bad luck, like you got Daniel Jones coming out of the fucking woodworks and crushing it with 41 points this week. Like, must be nice, right? Just to inherit that awesome team and then get these players. I'm like, come on, man.
So, well, he is drafting a bunch of good players too. He did draft Daniel Jones in the rookie draft. I forgot who poached him. Who put in the poach request for him? I forget.
I think it was John initially.
Okay.
So he did like a 1-year contract.
Okay.
And I decided to match it instead of doing 2 years.
Right.
And I don't know why I did that, but yeah, it screwed me over because obviously he took him to a 41-point QB performance here.
Yeah, what a debut. So if I'm not mistaken, can you change? I thought you couldn't change the years, but maybe someone will figure it out and we could talk about that later. But
I don't know. I think Hua's on right now. Maybe we can ask this guy.
oh, the commissioner. Wow.
Kamish.
There's a little bit of delay, so he'll probably see it. And maybe he can't even respond in chat, so maybe we'll get that cleared up later. But in any case, that's what I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I am still impressed that even though they had all of these injuries, they're still putting up 190 points.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest surprise to me is T.Y. Hilton, honestly.
Huh.
Like, I think you're the one that believed in Brissett the most.
It seems like it.
With that offense, just like not having luck, I just had no idea what to expect out of them. But look at him. He's still getting 10 targets. He's getting 60 yards and a touchdown. Like, he's doing pretty well. Like, I think with Yonkers' team, like, it's obvious that they got a lot of top-end players, and they've been kind of screwed over by some injuries. But,
Right.
you know, that's another team that I think could be close to 3-0 if it wasn't for some tough matchups earlier on here.
Agreed. What is their record again? I'm forgetting.
They're 1-2.
1-2. Wow, that doesn't seem right to me at this moment.
Yeah.
I mean, again, they have been unlucky, so I can see it, but it feels like they should have been a 2-1 at least. But I guess that's how it works sometimes. It's close this year, so like there's going to be a lot of narrow margins in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, we can move on. Mars, they faced you. Dustin's line was Mars minus 15. And I took Mars, and that was the result. Mars scoring 196.43 versus your 146.65. Yeah, Matt Ryan, he showed up with 33.2. And Greg Olsen, my God, 22.5 against that really bad Arizona defense, at least for tight ends. And then the LA Rams with 18 fantasy points. And then with Mars, they had Russell Wilson with 51.7 points. That was insane. And Carson Wentz with 26. Amari Cooper with 23.5. So most of the scoring came from the QBs, and then also the Chicago defense with 24.2 fantasy points. How did you feel about this matchup?
Honestly, I wasn't home, so I couldn't watch any football that weekend.
Okay.
It was tough to see the stats, man. Like, the biggest thing that gets me is the fact that Stephon Diggs and Calvin Ridley had 4 targets in total for that entire Sunday stretch. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with those guys. I mean, apparently Ridley couldn't beat zone coverage, which is a shocker to me. And then Diggs, like, I mean, I've been hearing rumors about how he wants to get traded out of Minnesota.
Whoa.
So that remains to be seen. I mean, that might be a good situation for him, but I mean, it's not great to see some of the other guys get all these touchdowns and receptions, and Diggs is just not getting anything at all.
Yeah.
And then the whole Darwin Thompson start. Yeah, I had no idea Darrell Williams was going to go off like that.
Oh, you started him. I didn't even realize.
Dude, I had to, man. I activated him and everything. I was fully committed. Like, I was ready to go all in with him, and I thought he was going to go off, but yeah, he didn't do shit.
I thought about Darrell Williams, and I kind of regret not starting him because, and we'll get to that later. But in any case, I did not realize he started Darwin fresh off the practice squad too.
I know.
What was your thinking with that activation?
Um, so like I mean, watching him in preseason, watching some of his college tape, you could tell that he had a lot of zip and extra moves to him.
Yeah.
Clearly an athletic beast.
Yes.
I thought he was very similar to Saquon in his ability to
Oof.
drive a lot of power
To
from his
Saquon.
legs.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, like, have you seen his front squats? Dude?
Maybe
It's a
maybe
different
in
level,
that
man.
respect, but yeah, let's not go too far.
Yeah. So like I was like, dude, like this guy is he looks like he'll be healthy. He
Yeah.
looks like he'll have a lot of ability to perform well. The one thing that did concern me a little bit right before the game was that Andy Reid said something about his pass protection needing to improve and all that.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure if that was going to
Yes.
completely impact that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I took a chance because I figure the Ravens are going to be a good matchup. And there's going to be a lot of scoring going on.
Right.
Fortunately, none of that went to Darwin, and it went to McCoy and Darryl instead. But
Right.
whatever. Like I decided that it was a pretty reasonable bet there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, just to go back on Diggs, I think he's still a really good player. Like when I look at him, he's getting open. But it's just that Kirk Cousins is never looking his way. He's always looking at Adam Thielen. So
I know.
and also he only throws like 15 times a game. He doesn't throw that many passes in that offense anymore. So it's just the new system that they have this year, and the fact that Kirk Cousins' best friend is Adam Thielen. It's just unfortunate for Diggs.
Yeah. So speaking about that, I don't know if you just saw the trade that just happened here.
What? What happened? Is this live? Live
Oh, yeah.
trade?
It's
What
live.
happened? Wait, in fantasy?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. 5 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's just pinging me while I'm trying to talk here.
Okay,
If he hears me or not.
let me just cover this. So you're sending Matthew Stafford and George Kittle for Juju
Yeah.
Smith-Schuster and Kirk Cousins. This is a huge trade.
Yeah. And I'm also sending a second round pick with that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously I have a lot of tight ends on my roster, as you've seen from my Disley pickup as well.
Yeah.
I felt that I needed to spice things up a little bit.
Okay.
And obviously Diggs wasn't performing and all of that. So that's from my end. I just wanted to kind of get a better roster up. And, like, I think Juju is probably one of the top keepers in our league. I think
Oh,
he's
yeah.
about, like, what, $14 or so.
I'm kind of
obviously-
shocked. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think Juju is amazing. I mean, yes, the situation right now sucks with Mason Rudolph. It did not look encouraging. I know last week we all were saying that Mason Rudolph is underrated. No, he looked pretty bad. I forget the stat, but he had like all these passes behind the line of scrimmage, and then he had like two that went past it, and Juju took one to the house. And that's the talent of Juju, right? He can do that. He's shown that ability multiple times in his career. Man, I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah. The only thing that concerns me is Kirk Cousins, right? Like you said, I mean, the offense is different now. He doesn't need to pass that much. Like, his stats are dog shit for this year.
Yeah.
And if you look at his stats historically, like, they're nowhere near on pace what he had historically as well.
True.
And this week is actually a pretty tough matchup as well. I think he's facing
Chicago.
the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
And then actually Stafford's facing the Chiefs.
Yep.
So I'm giving that up to be able to get Juju and kind of spice things up here.
Wow, insane. I'm just shocked. George Kittle also has a bye right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this helps your team immediately, I'd assume.
It does help me immediately. I don't know who I'm going to bench to get him up and running, though. I'm guessing it's going to be Diggs, but we'll see.
Let me take a look back. Yeah, I mean, you got time. Don't you have the flex with Darwin?
No, man. I got Will Disley in there.
Wait, Will Disley's in your tight end. Wait,
Yeah,
I'm
I got Greg
confused.
Olsen.
Oh, you got Greg Olsen, right? Oh, wow. Okay,
Dude,
okay.
Greg Olsen's been killing it.
It's your choice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's yeah, you got to figure out. You got a whole bunch of different choices, right? You got those guys. You got Ridley, maybe Diggs too. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. we'll see how that goes. Wow, that's I think that's the first time that's ever happened. A trade that's live on the show. That like happened live on the show. That's crazy. And we had you to explain, your thinking too.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy stuff. I'm still kind of shocked. I don't know. I think Juju is worth so much. Maybe that's why you had the balance of the second round pick. Giving that up, I think that makes sense. Maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it more later. We definitely stole some of the spotlight away from Mars. His victory here with 193. We can go through. Russell Wilson's a god. He's amazing. He had a down year last year, but he's still very talented, and he's showing that through his fantasy points here. I mean, if you told me that he had 406 yards and 2 touchdowns, I would say that's a pretty good day. But he also had 2 touchdowns running as well as 51 yards. Like, that's incredible. I do have some concerns though with John's team. James Conner hasn't been showing up. Again, we talked about Mason Rudolph and that Steelers offense. It's a little bit concerning, as well as Odell. I mean, 8 points, not terrible, but you're definitely expecting more from that kind of superstar player.
Yeah. But let's not forget, like, the Rams still have a pretty good defense. I mean, if
Sure.
you want to, I mean, like, there's a reason why I've been starting the Rams defense every week instead of trying to play different matchups and
Sure.
stream different things.
Sure.
I was very close to picking up the Titans defense and decided against it as a result. And that obviously panned out well for me, but I mean, I'm still not going to get the win no matter what here. I mean, like, I really like his team, and I think he has a lot of upside. Like, his tight end position obviously hasn't been performing outside of week 1. But, Hawkinson is obviously a beast, as we've seen in the preseason and in week 1.
Right.
I mean, he's got a good team. I like it a lot. And it doesn't surprise me that he's 3-0 right now.
Do you think it's a good enough team to match that 3-0?
Yeah, I would say so.
That pause, though. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, all the teams are just so close, right?
It really is. It's hard to say, but I do like his QBs. I love the talent that he's got at both running back and wide receiver. Amari Cooper, even if Odell's not doing well, Amari Cooper is top 10 wide receiver for sure. And then he's got old man Larry still doing his thing. Melvin Gordon coming back. It's going to be good for him, I think, this year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
And,
solid.
like, I think Dustin brings this up all the time, but the Bears defense, dude, like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just an automatic 20 points every week, dude. It's
Yeah,
huge.
We're speaking for you, Dustin. The Chicago defense, again, in the draft, the steal of the draft, maybe. Chicago defense, so talented. They're just going to always score points. You're 1-2. Do you think that reflects your talent, the talent on your roster?
Based on my matchups to date, yeah.
Okay.
I think, I mean, like, if I didn't have to face you with McCaffrey and Lamar Jackson going off for 80 points in week 1, like, I think I would have a shot at 2-1 right now.
That's true.
But,
That's true.
yeah.
That's fair, and that's one of the things that we don't talk about much. But who you face is very important, right? The matchups, because no matter how well you do, if you just get wrecked like that, you can't do anything.
I know.
You face that if you score the second highest points and you face the highest points, you lose. That's an 0-1. So
Yeah, man, I faced 50 points from Russell Wilson. What can I do about that?
exactly, it's tough. But yeah, well, I guess there's nothing more to say with that. Let's move on. Harlem and Virginia facing off. I gave Harlem +5. Dustin took Harlem, but Virginia came out as the victor, 165.5 to 156.98. I recall this being a nail biter. Going all the way to that Monday night game as we watched Mitch Trubisky play against the Redskins. Mitch Trubisky, he scored 28 fantasy points. He led the way for Harlem. 17.7 from Aaron Rodgers, and Frank Gore showing up with 16.9 fantasy points. Virginia, they were led by 22.8 from Dalvin Cook. Julio Jones, 22.55, and then Josh Allen, 22.7. Which team do you want to start with there?
Let's start with Harlem.
All right.
I'm a little bit surprised his team isn't better.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anyone else is seeing the same thing that I am, but I just don't think Aaron Rodgers looks that good this year.
No, I agree with you.
Um,
I agree with you. He seems lost in the new system, right? I think he maybe it's that he's still adjusting. I mean, I'll give that possibility, right? Kind of hedging
yeah,
here. Maybe he gets better later in the year as he gets accustomed. But as of right now, it did look like he was kind of slow in the way that he's deciding. His a little bit of indecisiveness, as well as some accuracy issues. But yeah, I mean, we don't
yeah.
know the full story,
I think there's a couple more things from what I've seen. Like people forget that Aaron Rodgers has been playing for a long time. He's
right?
35 years old right now.
Yeah,
And I think there was a year where we saw Peyton Manning go off at a historic rate, just crush it, and then completely fall off a cliff the following year.
right.
Um, I know it's probably too early and too aggressive to say this, but like I feel like Aaron Rodgers might be going through something similar because like
Mm,
right now he's holding onto the ball for a very long time. He's not making the right kind of decisions, and the only person that's really receiving anything is Devontae Adams. Like I think MVS had a decent game last week, but even so, like the accuracy is not there. The arm strength isn't there as well. There's a lot of wobbly balls he's been throwing that I've seen ever. So it's a little concerning to see his performance right now.
oh man, you're making me scared of starting Jimmy Graham tonight. Yeah, I mean, I think Diaz would argue that Devontae Adams has not really shown up that much either. He had that
Mm-hmm.
1 week against Minnesota where he had 7 catches for 106, but it looks like he has no TDs right now, which is definitely a problem. Um, yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe it changes tonight, right? Maybe it was just the fact that Aaron Rodgers has faced 3 pretty good defenses now, right? Against the Bears, the Vikings, and the Broncos. So
Yeah,
maybe against the poor Eagle secondary, maybe that's what it is. We'll see. But yeah, right now, not looking too great. Definitely not returning the value
yeah.
that his cost
And
was at the
the other
auction.
concern I have about his team is that he's got a lot of players in the NFC North, and that's kind of partly the concern that I have in my team as well. There's a
Interesting.
lot of good defenses out there, man.
Interesting.
Um, there's a lot of good defenses that like will lead to lower scoring in those matchups, and he's just putting himself at a bit of a disadvantage. Like I have
Huh.
concerns about having Stephon Diggs and Kirk Cousins as well. So like
Oh, yeah. You have that stack now.
maybe that might be leading to his performance so far.
Right, right, right. We can't avoid talking about Mitchell Trubisky, who you watch him.
He sucks, bro. I'm
There's,
sorry.
there's, he's not very good, but I think in terms of fantasy, he scores points, and that's like the thing that just shocks me. He's not too great. He rarely makes multiple reads. He's kind of like the scheme really needs to help him type of guy. Matt Nagy's doing his best, but sometimes he can put up points, and he came up with 28 last week against a pretty bad Redskins defense. So maybe so there are some brighter days ahead for him. I'm sure Diaz is wishing for that with the stack of Allen Robinson. Um, yeah, I mean, I do think that Diaz on the Discord, he's been talking about how his team is really bad right now. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's complete trash. Like it definitely isn't an 0-3 team. It may be
Yeah.
1-2. It does seem about right. And the way that he got the 1-2 was a little bit fluky, but I do think the 1-2 is kind of close to where his team should be. And I have a feeling that it could turn around for them. We'll see. I mean, having the Patriots defense is pretty good too. Oh, they scored 31. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot to like about the
Yeah.
about the team, but they
Yeah.
just haven't been performing yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kelsey, he's not going to be putting up only 12 and again, Devontae Adams, he's going to improve. We'll see how Chris Carson, Leonard Fournette do in their
Yeah.
future weeks. But for now,
What
they've
do you
been
think
struggling.
about what do you think about Hua's team here?
Yeah, so
Um,
Dalvin Cook, he's a beast. When I was going into the season, thinking about which running backs were going to be the top, and you can clearly just think about the top four. We all know who they are. But I was also thinking about which running backs could make the leap, and one of them that I thought about was Dalvin Cook. And the system that they have on the Vikings, it fits him perfectly. I feel like so he's gonna get the volume. He's gonna be very good with the volume. He's gonna get the touchdowns. I think he's gonna be very productive this year. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I picked up Madison for the same
Oh
reasons,
yeah, 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 yeah,
but
yeah.
I
He
didn't
looked
really
good.
expect Cook to actually be healthy.
Oh right. Well, I
I,
do think that's
I,
my one concern with Cook actually, that it could get split with Madison.
yeah, I mean, Madison had like 10 carries last week. He had like 60 yards and a touchdown or something. He had
Right.
12 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown last week. So um, I wouldn't be surprised if they moved to a bit of a timeshare. But that being said, like Dalvin Cook, his skill is undeniable right now.
Right. Right. It's so good. He's beastly there. And they've just been destroying in their games. I mean, maybe that's why Kirk Cousins hasn't been throwing, right? Like they've been winning these games by quite a margin. They just run the ball, kill the clock. Oh, I guess not Green Bay, but at least for Atlanta and Oakland. Um, what are your thoughts on Josh Allen?
Um, yeah, I mean, like I personally haven't watched enough of Bills games to really know. I know based on last week, apparently Hua's in love with them. So like when we're discussing this trade, I didn't even try to broach Josh Allen as a potential as an item in it. I figured it's a non-starter, but um, I feel like there's players out there that are really good fantasy wise, and then there's players out there that are really good in real life. I don't know if he's really that good in real life,
Uh huh.
personally.
Uh huh.
Um, I'm similar. I feel similar to you on Lamar Jackson. Like I think he's been criminally underrated in terms of his skill set, and like it's honestly not a surprise to see him crushing it like this.
Uh huh.
Obviously, to this extent, it's like
Yeah.
it's pretty ridiculous to see this big of a production. But
Agreed.
if you watched him in college at all, if you've seen his performance, like that he can chuck the ball. He can get really big yardage. Like you knew he was talented. I don't
Right.
know if I can say the same thing for Josh Allen because I didn't really watch him. So. I
Okay.
mean, like he's been putting up numbers, right?
Yeah,
He's
he
not
has.
terrible.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he's gotten some bad luck with his interceptions and fumbles, but for the most part, he's been productive. Their real life team is winning. They're 3-0 in real life, the Buffalo Bills, and the fake team for Virginia, fantasy team. Sorry, not fake. The fantasy team for Virginia, they're also 3-0. So looks like Josh Allen is doing enough to keep them on the win column.
Yeah, but like they've also played kind of shitty teams, right? So
Ooh, bringing up that argument. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I forget
the
who.
Jets, the Giants, and the Bengals, like three of
That's
the
true.
worst teams in the league right now.
Yeah. That's true. That can be brought up for both the Bills and for Virginia, right? Because they also faced the Dustin's team, Warren's team, and Harlem. So,
Yeah,
and I don't know what the combined records for those three teams are, but it's not on the positive. So, yeah, that's an interesting case. So yeah, so that's one of the questions for Virginia. They're 3-0. Is the talent here deserving of the 3-0?
I definitely think they got lucky in the first three games, but that being said, I think this most recent trade definitely helps them a lot. Like starting what's his face, Kid over Witten, it's a huge upgrade.
Huge.
Kirk Cousins has been kind of shit in the bed.
Right.
So like I think he's gonna do just fine rest of the year. He's got the top running backs in the league, I think. I mean his wide receivers are kind of insane as well. Like he's got Julio out there, and Julio's been putting up touchdowns this year. Also, why I was very high on Julio coming into the season because I think was it Dirk Cotter or Kidder? I can't even say his name. I think
One of those.
the
Yeah.
last time he was on the Falcons, he was really good for them,
Right.
and really good for Julio in terms of getting him end zone looks. So I think Julio is going to be really good. He clearly hit on some rookies this year
Right.
as well, and then he's
Hollywood.
got Curtis Samuel out there too. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think the talent on this roster is pretty good. I don't know if I would say 3-0, but definitely on the winning side, 2-1 or 3-0, sure. I mean, you can't. Again, people can bring up the luck argument, but honestly, you can only face who you face, and that's a good sign as they move on, right? Like they took care of business. They didn't drop any of those, and now they'll face some of the tougher teams. Maybe, who knows? But they've got really good talent. Again, I like Cook. Mac has been showing up. You talked about the young talent, the young wide receivers, and then as you said, they upgraded in QB and tight end. So it's going to be interesting. One thing I was just thinking about as we were talking just now, Juju versus Kittle as keepers. Who's the better keeper?
Yeah, I mean that's something that I've been debating a lot because like Kittle's so cheap,
Right.
but like I mean $10 in the grand scheme of things isn't really going to make a huge difference between the two. I really like Juju's abilities, but I think the thing that I was most hesitant about was Mason Rudolph and the whole Ben Roethlisberger situation.
Right, right.
I, we don't know how good Mason Rudolph can be just yet. Like last week, he had a decent showing, but obviously we're not 100% sure what he can do for a rest of the season. What do you mean, Warren?
Why?
I'm
What do
not
you
saying
say?
that many two big words, but yeah. I don't know. I feel like Juju might be a little bit better in terms of talent, but yeah, we'll see.
I agree with you. I think Juju is probably better, but that's my initial take right now. It's probably because Kittle hasn't blown up yet. He hasn't had that explosive game yet. And so you can start to have these thoughts about, was last year a fluke? Is it just different now on the 49ers offense? Is Kittle not going to get his anymore? I think he's still getting his targets, but definitely in terms of the production, it hasn't been good. Yeah, we'll see.
I,
We'll see.
I don't know about Jimmy G though. That's the whole thing.
Right. I don't know about the connection, right? Because last year it was Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard who gave all the production to Kittle. So maybe Jimmy G's looking elsewhere. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's kind of we'll see. It's a to be determined kind of deal here. With that,
Yeah.
let's move on to the last game on the slate from last week. Flushing +9 was the line that Dustin gave, and I took Flushing, and that was the result. Flushing, they got to Hamilton, 206.05 points, and I went from getting the Hamilton to getting Hamiltoned with scoring 182.14. God, Flushing, they went crazy.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen with 35.85 fantasy points. That was insane. I thought that I had a chance before he went off like that, but man, he just went off on the 4 o'clock games. And also Deshaun Watson, 35.1 fantasy points, and Mark Ingram, he was he was making it rough from the beginning with 35 fantasy points. My team did fairly well, 26.35 from Lamar. Jacoby Brissett led the way for me with 30.4 fantasy points, and then Tyler Lockett with 27.7. Yeah, Flushing really showed up.
Yeah, they definitely did. And it's about time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like they had a really good squad, but they've been kind of underperforming to start the year. But, the foundational pieces of his team are so good. And I really liked Mark Ingram coming into the year, so it's about time that he's kind of blown up as well.
Yeah, I mean, I left out Adam Thielen, but I remember just watching and from 1 o'clock, Adam Thielen and Mark Ingram, they were just taking turns scoring touchdowns, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a long day. And I kind of fought back a little bit, but man, Keenan Allen went off against.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was in the same game, I guess, with Deshaun Watson. They're just really just two superstar talents in our league. It's pretty insane.
Yeah,
He's got a great team. It's
he really does.
what's his record? 1-2.
I think he's 1-2 as well.
Doesn't make any sense to me. I actually think his team is a contender, honestly. With Terry McLaurin showing up as a back end starter for him, I think it's extremely legitimate. I think I had that reflected in my new power rankings for the week.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, and looking at his squad, like Le'Veon underperformed this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
I mean, Vance McDonald got hurt, so no surprise on the 1.5 there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like his top end players are so good that I think he'll definitely be in contention for the rest of this year. But like honestly, your squad is pretty damn good too, man.
Yeah, I have no idea how Flushing lost those 2 times. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Again, it's just the how close the teams are this year. Maybe it's just that. Yeah. My team is pretty good. I think at least it had a fighting chance, but at the end of the day, it came up short. A lot of good talent and running back, wide receiver. The question always was with my QBs, and for now, they're doing all right. Lamar Jackson and Jacoby Brissett are showing up.
How do you feel about AJ Green coming back apparently in week 6?
Is that confirmed?
That's the rumors that I've been reading, man.
I don't know. I think Tyler Boyd will still be fine. He's I think that offense will be a little bit better, and it could help, honestly. with AJ Green, but I think Tyler Boyd will just remain the same kind of role with the high volume, high targets. I believe he doesn't have a touchdown yet, but he's still doing really well in fantasy because he gets all this volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 8, 10, 6. Yeah, Jesus.
I mean, especially because we moved over to that
Right.
first down
Right.
instead of having like the total number of yards. It's been amazing for you, dude.
Actually, that's true. I feel like my team has benefited a lot from that because I have guys like Christian McCaffrey, the volume, the volume guys who get those first downs.
Yeah.
Yeah, McCaffrey is an obvious choice, but people like even Michael Thomas, those possession type of receivers, they get the first down.
Yeah. I mean, even with the shift to Teddy, like you haven't really lost a step in that.
Yeah, I was lucky that he got a touchdown, but it's just volume.
Yeah. I mean, in looking at your team right now, like you had a lot of guys that I really liked coming into the season. Like Chris Godwin had a lot of hype to
Yeah.
him. Mark Andrews had a lot of hype.
Yep.
Tyler Lockett as well. Let's see, who else was there? I mean, like a lot of those guys that you have on your starting team were pretty hyped up in the preseason. I remember trying to potentially go after Tyler Lockett from Diaz and deciding against it because I wanted to take on Matt Ryan. I remember at one point I wanted Eckler from you, but then I decided on Matt Ryan there instead.
Oh, you
Just
should have taken
fuck,
Eckler.
dude, like, I know. I had so many like good options, and I felt good about them. And then Andrew Luck retired.
Yeah, that's true.
Damn it.
Yeah, one other thing I want to talk about here is with Josh Jacobs. I knew I should have benched him. He only scored 4.65. At the end of the day, it didn't matter because Flushing just destroyed me. But in any case, I could have put in any of my bench guys, like literally any of my bench guys, and they could have done 10 points, around 10 points higher. So it's unfortunate there, but that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I think with that, unless you have anything else to say here, we can start looking at the next week. Oh, actually, we should look at the waiver wire.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's take a look. I'm gonna go to
You go to
transaction
transactions.
history. Here we go, because I want to see the bid amounts as well. Full disclosure, as usual, I am often looking at this for the first time. Oh wow, Kyle Allen for 9. So, yeah, let's start there. Mars, they shipped off Case Keenum, right, to LIC, and now I guess they pick up their backup, their QB3 and Kyle Allen.
Yeah, I actually put in a bid of $3 for him. I didn't realize that Kyle Allen was gonna be so sought out after. But like, I don't know. I mean, I like it. I like that the 3-0 teams are staying aggressive this week, picking up some of the top pickups. So, yeah, I really can't hate the decision, but it's a lot to spend.
Yeah, let's go to that big one. Where is it? The massive one. Here it is. Here it is.
It was back
23.
on the first page.
Woo!
Oh yeah, there we go.
Wayne Gallman for 23 to
Yeah.
Virginia. This.
Dude,
Yeah, go ahead.
I put in $21 for him, man.
That's so unfortunate. Do you need the running back? First of all, do you need him?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, my RB2 right now is either Chris Thompson or Sony Michel. So yeah.
Oof. I do love the aggressiveness. I think when you have an opportunity in the HFFL to have a lead and to maintain that lead, I think you take it. I think that's what Virginia's doing here, right? Like he's not giving any of you guys outs to get back into it. He wants to just take command of the situation. My only problem is Wayne Gallman any good? Is he gonna be worth it? Like I'm not sure. That's my issue.
Man. I mean, you're a fellow Giants fan too. Like, I mean, I guess I was wrong on Daniel Jones. I mean, he's super good, but
That's true.
I didn't really think that highly of Wayne Gallman either.
True.
Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe the Giants have figured out something with him, but yeah, would love your thoughts.
I personally don't think he's going to be that great. I mean, he's not going to give you Saquon. I don't know what percentage of Saquon he'll give. Maybe I'll say like 60%. which
Yeah.
could be pretty good. I don't know. You're right. The offense is completely different now with Daniel Jones. So it remains to be seen, right? The scheme could be different. The plays that they call could be different. But I have a feeling they're not going to run the ball as much. I could be
I
wrong, though.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like, so there's a couple things. I think our O line got really good this year.
Yeah, it's better.
Incredibly underrated as a unit. And then
Zeitler.
we got Golden Tate coming back next week as well.
True.
You know, that might change things up for that offense where they can run a little bit more because they can't just stack the box. So we'll see. I think there's a good amount of opportunity that can happen.
Right.
We'll just see how good he actually is in game.
In terms of opportunity, he's gonna get all of it because I think we only have the practice squad guy Hilleman, and he got
Oh, yeah, I saw
activated,
that.
and that was it. That's it, I think. And Elijah Penny, like the fullback. So
I thought we were going after a couple other random guys.
yeah, I don't know. C.J. Anderson.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think C.J. Anderson. There was somebody else. Oh, we were working on free agent running back Zach Zenner, Benny Cunningham, and Fozzie Whitaker.
Yeah, that's a yikes.
Oh man,
So maybe because of the volume, the usage, maybe that alone is
it
good
could
enough.
happen.
Let's say with the running backs here, Kareem Hunt, Dustin picks him up for 4, straight to the practice
Yeah.
squad.
Yeah, I mean he knows his roles, man. He's on top of that.
Yeah, with the amount of games played with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
Do you think? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. Like he's still clearly a really good talent,
Right.
and he's got like a 1-year contract with the Browns, so he's got a potential to be league winning next year. Should he decide to activate him.
Interesting. Yeah, next year. Yeah, that's a good point. I was just merely thinking about this year, and I was like, Kareem Hunt, will he actually be that good on the Browns offense? Because the Browns offense has been really struggling. I mean, that's something. Maybe Dustin chose to run away this week for a good reason because I was gonna needle him about the Browns offense, but it's not looking that great right now. Just being honest. I mean, there definitely is room for improvement. I think they can improve as the coaches think about what they're doing wrong, and also the players. There's some blame there as well. So, but yeah, I don't know how much value Kareem Hunt could have this year.
Dustin's just really good at finding that value, man. I mean, that's how he got Cooper Kupp. I mean, that's how he got Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, that's fair.
We know what Kareem Hunt's capable of.
Right.
I mean, it's either beating women or beating tackles. Like, he's really good at it, man.
Jesus.
So, like, you know, there's only upside for picking him up and just stashing him for now.
True. Yeah, that's true. $13 for Will Disley.
Yeah, I liked him as a player. I mean, I saw Warren and Dustin were hating on him, but as much as I love athleticism, I also love opportunity. And it's clear that he's one of the favored options in that Seattle offense.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have some tinted glasses right now because I got whooped by fucking Russell Wilson and his 50 points. But I mean, like he's still got a good amount of opportunity, right?
Yeah,
like he's getting some good end zone targets, and for a tight end, if you see end zone targets, there's a lot of upside there to see. So
For sure.
Figured why not spend $13 when everyone else needs a tight end?
Yep, it's true. The tight end, the landscape for tight ends, it's pretty ugly. Did you know when you were putting in the bid for Disley about your trade that you were trading away Kittle?
So like I didn't want to do the trade actually.
Okay.
I was kind of fighting against it, and then once I picked up Disley because I didn't get Gallman, I said just fuck it, let's go for it. Let's make the trade. Let's mix things up.
It's the other way around. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But I'm following the Andrew Chu model of having like 3 tight ends on my roster.
So, right, for at least for right now, but you'll only have Disley and Olsen, right? Or do you have one more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
that'll be it.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's fair. Let's see. We got some defenses. We got Virginia going with Vernon Davis. That's potentially interesting. Although, so I'm wondering from Waz's point of view if he knew he was gonna get Kittle, who has a bye, right? I guess he still has a tight end. I forget who it is. Oh no, it was Witten. So this is purely for this week. Vernon Davis getting the Giants. It's a pretty good matchup.
Yeah.
Not much more to say, I think.
Yeah, I know. I mean, dude, he spent a lot of fab this week, but again, like he's staying aggressive. I like that. Um,
I love it.
so we'll see how it all pans out for him.
Yeah, he's trying to limit what everyone else can do, right? I believe he's got a lot of money to spend too, so he's leveraging that and making sure that he stays ahead as a 3-0 team. Couple of just small notes here. Preston Williams for Yonkers. Yonkers taking a couple $1 bids here with Dion Lewis as well. Some interesting pickups, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've heard all the chatter about Preston Williams, but uh, it seems that the Dolphins have found like the true wideout one on their team via Preston Williams. So there's been a lot of hype for him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the same time, he's still on the Dolphins, right? Like, I don't know how much hype you can really have about players on that team. So,
Right.
I mean, he's got him in his practice squad right now. So it looks like he's he's taking some chances, going for that upside. I respect it. I actually had Preston Williams for $1 after.
Oh yeah,
after Disler
that's right.
as well,
That's right.
so.
Yeah. And also that one time where you put too many people on your practice squad.
Yeah, dude. Like, how am I supposed to know that's supposed to happen, man? Come on.
I love how you come on like a week right after Hall was. He wasn't bitching about it last week, but still he was, slightly annoyed. Yeah, no, I think Preston Williams is very interesting. I think his draft stock in the real NFL draft was it tanked because of some off the field issues. Some domestic violence kind of stuff. Not good,
Yeah.
but on the field at least he seems pretty talented. He's a rookie, so a lot of room to grow. But so far he's been doing pretty well. And as you said, Dolphins, they're a pretty bad team. They start their games in garbage time pretty much, so a lot of these points are probably in.
Yeah, I don't know if you just saw that
setting.
blurb that he had 12 targets last week. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's reassuring signs for all that.
That's a lot, but he only caught 4, so I don't know. I don't know what that means. Capital Region with Tony Pollard. That's pretty interesting. So Tony Pollard got a lot of work in the garbage time as well in that Dallas-Miami game, but he went out and got 21.3 fantasy points. So I think it's very clear that he's a talented guy on that explosive Dallas offense. And if there is anything that happens to Zeke, Pollard is very, very valuable.
I think Pollard is really good.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for him because he's stuck behind Zeke. Like, Zeke is always healthy. He's a beast out there, and he just got this extension. Like, I don't know how valuable Pollard's going to be. But
I mean, it's good to have talent, right? Like, at least in the real life football world. In fantasy, it does suck. Tony Pollard could be a star on a different team, potentially. A couple tight ends here. Eric Ebron for 2 for LIC. I think that's just him getting... Let me just check. I think he needed the tight end to start. But I think Eric Ebron's a pretty good one. Going into... Yeah, he's starting him into this week because of T.Y. Hilton's status. So maybe Ebron becomes more of the... target hog in that offense. And then I picked up Jimmy Graham because I was scared about Mark Andrews, and I'm tentatively starting him. Would you start Jimmy Graham or wait for Mark Andrews?
I would rather wait for Mark Andrews, dude. That connection with Lamar is so good.
It's so good. But what I'm just scared about the injury, but maybe I'll think about it. I'll think about it after we're done here in a little bit. Dustin,
what? You still got like 2 more days.
No, I can't. He's tonight. Jimmy Graham's tonight.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I kind of screwed that up. So the idea was for me to pick up a tight end so that I could switch him out if there's the injury. But I screwed up and picked up the one guy who's playing tonight. So unfortunate. But yeah, I was going to ask Dustin too, but he's again, the flakiness.
You can't predict these things, man. It's tough.
I know.
Who are you facing this week? Oh, you're facing Hua.
Hua, yeah. So in a way, your trade, I don't know if it hurts or helps me. When I saw the trade, I can't really tell. So I'm glad that I don't have to face Kittle, I guess. But and Juju actually.
Yeah, but he has Stafford facing KC.
Right.
That could be a lot of points. So.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's net even.
It's pretty close,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think it's very, very close. So, Yeah, that's tough, man. He didn't practice at all today, huh?
Who?
Mark Andrews.
Oh yeah, Mark Andrews. Yeah, no. That's why I'm scared. That's why I want to go with Jimmy Graham, and it's also the revenge game. But revenge game against Paul. I mean, which like has no meaning. It's just narrative. Yeah. Well, I got a couple minutes. I'll think about it after the show. And you've got Dustin this week.
Yep, I got Dustin. I don't know. Projections really hate me, as you can see there. I think it's like a difference of like 30 points or something.
Let's look at the
I
matchup
feel like I've
preview.
been beating all my projections every week, so it's completely worthless to look at.
Jeez, you're
Uh,
right.
yeah, I mean, like I said, Dustin's team is really, really good.
It is
I
good.
don't think they should be 1-2 right now. I think they had
Right.
some bad luck to start off the season. That being said, I don't think my team is that bad outside of maybe like Sony Michelle and Chris Thompson and Stephon Diggs. I guess. Fuck, my team is bad. Um, but yeah, I don't know, dude.
The live realization on the show.
Oh god.
but look, you got Juju now, right? You got Juju against the Bengals offense. I mean, sorry, Bengals defense. Yeah. Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know.
I mean, I'm hoping that the squeaky wheel gets greased. You know, like Stephon Diggs talking about how he's not happy and wanting a trade and all that.
Right.
Hopefully, he gets a lot more targets because he deserves it, in my opinion.
Right.
He's one of my guys, so yeah, we'll see, man.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Mark Andrews. Even if I get 0, I don't think it's that big a deal. If Mark Andrews, like Jimmy Graham, is not gonna do that well, is he?
Yeah,
Oh man, people are gonna
there's
be
too much upside, man. I mean, we talked about it, right?
so
Like,
much upside with Mark Andrews. I think I wait. I think I have to wait.
yeah, I mean, look at those fat zeros that Jimmy Graham put up 2 weeks in a row, dude.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham's so awful. Why did I pick up this guy? This guy's going on
Is
the
it because I
bench.
took Disley?
Yeah, you guys took all the tight ends. Ebron as well. LAC. Yeah, no way. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for sure. That was garbage. Should I just drop him live on the show? It's like, what am I doing? How is that even a
Yeah, that's rough, man. I'm sorry
question?
to hear that. Hey, I got Greg Olson for trade.
Oh, actually, I'll think about it. Anyways, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. It went off a little bit in some different directions without Dustin anchoring. And we're gonna skip for next year's next week's who you got. We'll fill that in off air, and you guys will see that next week. But until then, yeah, I think we're done. You got any closing thoughts, Duo?
No, just gonna whoop that ass with Dustin though.
Whew. Yeah,
But he
we'll
can't say anything because he's not on there, so this is good.
with your new toys, right? Juju and Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins.
Let's go.
Another revenge game. Kirk Cousins against Great Kills. All right. Well, with that, I think we're done.
Cool.
See you
All right,
guys next week.
See you.